Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. I'm Evil Mike, and I got a review for you on a book. This one's a little late. I think it dropped 2 weeks ago for people that are worried about spoilers. Hey, you had a whole long time to read it. I'm kind of half-half on this book, and I'll give you my thoughts on why. But this is Aftershock's Chicken Devil. Let's get into the who's and what's in the. All right, so the writer is Brian. Buccellato. Artist is Hayden Sherman. Letters is Hassan, Otsmane, Elhaou. And it says the main and mass covers were created by Hayden Sherman, the artist. The synopsis of this book had me really excited for it. I don't know, a guy in a chicken suit, and he's I was kind of hoping for like a superhero type of thing, or like this was his superhero outfit or something like that, on the ridiculous side of it. What we got is a little different, and we're going to go into it. So we are meeting Mitchell Moss, and he is, he is in charge or owns a fried chicken restaurant, like a fast food type of a chicken restaurant. And he himself has created these like chicken fryers that are exclusive to his restaurant. It's why his restaurant is supposedly famous or something like that. The book kind of starts out and it's just his day. We meet his family, which is shown right here. It's like the niece, Christian and Hannah. I think Denise is his wife, and then Christian and Hannah are his two kids. And they're basically just, getting ready for the day, this and that kind of stuff. He does get a phone call telling him, hey, we need you at work. And when he gets to work, he finds out, at his restaurant that his partner has somehow burnt half of the restaurant down. Supposedly they were supposed to clean the fryers or something like that, and the guy started up everything, and it caught everything on fire, and he tried to put out the grease fire and ended up making it worse. At the same time, as shown here, we have this mob faction that comes in, and it basically stating that they owe him a whole bunch of money, and they're kind of looking around and see the restaurant's burnt up, and they kind of start freaking out. Come to find out, they were hiding heroin or some kind of drugs in the chicken mix at this restaurant and stuff, which is one of the weirdest things, because if you're going to fry drugs, that not only are they going to burn, most of the drugs we have in existence will explode, right, when you put them to heat. Especially if they're talking, and I don't remember the specific drug, but I want to say it was either coke, crystal, or heroin, and all three of those are highly combustible. So I don't know, bad thinking on the mob for putting drugs in the chicken mix that were going to be fried, kind of thing. I don't get the thinking right there. Okay. But I'm just assuming maybe the people that wrote this comic, because a lot of people, that are in the good side of the world might not have the knowledge on certain drugs. And it does say heroin, and yeah, heroin's pretty ignitable. So the mob does kind of, in fact, tell him, hey, you owe this money. We did hide it in your restaurant. The other guy that is the partner with him, is the reason they got involved with the mafia type of thing. So with the main character, Mitchell, he basically finds out he owes them $2 million, and he doesn't have $2 million, especially after his restaurant just burned down kind of thing. They do show a scene where he's he goes home and he's basically trying to run from the mob. At this point, he's like, bro, I don't have $2 million, so he goes home without telling his family. And he just kind of tells them, hey, we're going to go on a vacation, pack everything, we need to go now. And he gets them in the car and stuff. And then he tells them they're going to take him on a cruise. So he does take them to this harbor and stuff. And they his whole family gets on the boat. His wife, he's kind of telling them, hey, I need to go take care of some things. I'm going to meet you on the boat. I'll be right back. And he does get everybody on the boat. And as soon as he gets his whole family on the boat, kaboom! The yacht just blows up and everything. The book jumps forward a little bit, and of course the guy's freaking out. His family just blew up and everything, and you know, I mean, that's all they show you is him. I mean, he goes home and he's just, you know, he's mourning, he's crying, he's, you know, of course, because it's all like his fault, right? So he does get a phone call from his, you know, from his partner saying, hey, I do have that money, you know, stuff like that. I need you to go to this locker that's at this like gym and you know, go to the locker and get the money out, and we can run off and run away from the mob type thing. He's not even considering using that money to pay off the mob. So before he does this, he gets the idea to go visit his mom, who also happens to be like a convicted felon that's locked up for like, I think, murder of his dad. And she's still going through trial. There is a scene where he even tries to like incriminate her with accidentally, and she's like, hey, I didn't do that, you know, I'm innocent type thing, you know, and he knows that she did do it kind of thing. And you know, it's basically like he's going to her asking for advice and stuff like that on what to do in his present situation, and he doesn't really get the advice that he's looking for. So eventually he does, you know, kind of take the suggestion from his coworker, and he does end up putting on the chicken suit, and he goes to that club to get, you know, to go to the locker to get the suitcase or whatever. As he is receiving the, you know, opening up the locker and you know, getting the duffel bag, and it's not money, it ends up being more drugs, but as soon as he does, a mob hitchman, you know, somebody assuming works for the mob or something like that knew about this locker, shows up at the same time waiting for somebody to go to that locker, and he's instantly like, you know, he was just waiting for the key, so, you know, he's like, hey, don't move, give me that bag, you know, and our chicken devil friend kind of like, you know, slips, and the drugs go everywhere, and you know, the assassin or hitman or whatever you want to call him kind of gets mad, and in his madness, you know, kind of you know, he's kind of calling the guy, you know, Mitchell. He's like, hey bro, what are you doing, you know, you were just supposed to hand me the bag, and like, you know, he started to run away from the guy. When he did that, that's when he ended up slipping and falling, and the drugs went everywhere. We kind of see that the guy should have, like, you know, learned that the slippiness is there, because he ends up, you know, slipping and falling himself, and when he does so, he ends up shooting himself in the brains, and that is basically where this issue leaves off, shown right here, and it kind of gives us a little bit of what's coming next. Now I'm going to go back and talk about, I mean, the premise in the story, it's okay, it's decent. I can kind of see it turning into something else. The main thing I kind of didn't like about this book was in the very beginning, and it only does it on the first 4 pages, but like everything that goes on in the beginning is so chaotic and so crazy. Like, you know, it took me like 2 reads to figure out which one was his wife between his daughter, because they're drawn very similar in age. But there's a lot going on, like panels within panels, outside panels, and that's kind of my only complaint, was just in the beginning it was like extremely all over the place, and it's about halfway in the book, you know, I want to say once the family kind of blows up, or really like right here, that's when the panels start kind of like slowing down in abundance, and you can kind of relax with the story a little bit. It is a small complaint, because again, I was able to figure it out and review it and stuff like that, but you know, the first time I read through it, it was like those first like 4 or 5 pages were like, I was like, what's going on, you know? I can say I love the art in the book, the art, the colors, there's like this fadedness, you know, to the art. It reminds me of like map color, you know, which I do myself, but I mean, as far as the story and everything, it's not exactly what I was looking for. You know, I kind of thought it was going to be like this guy that was, you know, kind of a superhero, or he was going after the mob type thing, and then maybe that's what it's going to turn out to. But right now, it just seems like this guy's kind of like accidentally, like, you know, kind of, you know, like how the guy died at the end. He didn't do anything. The guy just slipped and killed himself, you know. But I mean, overall, it was a decent read. I've heard a lot of people that love this book, so again, this is my opinion. But I want to say, like, if I had a grading system, which I really don't, it's really hard to judge, and you know, in my opinion. But I want to say this is like a half-half. You know, I didn't hate it, I didn't love it. It's kind of right in the middle. Again, it is a first, you know, issue into the series, and the way I look at things is you can never really judge on that first issue, right? It's kind of like just your starting point on where the story is, and we do know that Aftershock likes to do 5-issue series, so you know, you have a lot of time to develop the story to see where it's going. Usually the second issue or the third is really where you get that content, you know, of the you know, what's going on kind of thing. But that's my review on Chicken Devil. You know, all that good stuff, like, comment, subscribe, you know, all that Jimmy Jam. You know, let me know if you read it. What did you think about it? The art, the paneling, that kind of stuff. If you did like it, what did you really appreciate about it? You know, what did the you know, story kind of speak to you, kind of thing? I don't know. Just let me know. All right, guys. I'll see y'all later. Bye.